You're listening to Now What, a podcast where we celebrate the human spirit by sharing stories of strength and resilience.
For those going through hard times or looking to get inspired to change their own life, we're your hosts, Jen and Tesha.
Hi, we're the hosts of Now What. I'm Jen.
And I'm Tesha. Jen and I met about 8 years ago, just after the birth of our firstborn babies. And we remained friends throughout that time. And we did lots of things with the kids. And in 2018, we started to become a lot closer. And we both ended up going through very different, but we both ended up going through very traumatic experiences where we leaned on one another.
And we were really grateful to have one another because what we quickly learned was that even though our experiences, they couldn't have been more different, which we will definitely focus episodes on coming up. But the trauma and a lot of the feelings that we had and a lot of the ways we dealt with these traumas, we really could find commonalities in our experiences, and we could really empathize and be there for one another throughout this time.
I think it's so important that we are talking about the during, right? It's not just like, oh, there was a traumatic birth and now she has this happy baby at home, or, oh, this person was assaulted and now they're living happily ever after. Like, we really want to get to what happened during and what those feelings were and what supports they found helpful or what things they didn't find helpful. We really want to we want to give you the whole story and not gloss over some of the ugliness that really occurs, that in our culture we tend to not really be comfortable talking about.
We want to help you get a little bit more comfortable in that uncomfortable space.
And we just realized that not everybody who has somebody that they can talk to about their trauma who has experienced it, and not everybody who knows somebody going through trauma knows really how to support them. So we just felt like nobody was talking about this. Nobody really knows how to support their friends or family members through trauma. Nobody really seems to be talking about these things. We just think it's so important.
And one thing that we both found, and the more people we've spoken to that have gone through traumatic experiences, is that people just want you to be okay. You could see how people were waiting and like watching to see if you are okay. Kind of that happy ending that we see when there's something, hard or traumatic that happens in a movie. But we know deeply how much hard work it takes to get through and continue to move through the after effects of trauma, that you go through this life altering experience that is either forcing you to change your life or brings you to a place where you have to change your life. And no matter how okay someone looks when you see them at school drop off or on their social media, they could be in the midst of a serious grief wave underneath the surface, or be battling something that's triggered their trauma.
Yeah. And these really are it's really part of the human experience that we have this full range of emotions. And we really want to shed a light on the whole story, the what happens after the trauma. How is it that people manage to get through that? How do they pick themselves up again after their lives have fallen apart? So we really just want to share the stories of real people who've gone through real challenges. And we just want to get their stories out there and get the conversation going and have people start talking about these things.
Because it's through sharing our stories, that's something that just unifies us. It's such a unifying human experience. Everybody will go through or has gone through some sort of trauma or loss, and everybody has or will know somebody else who has. So that's why we're here. But we feel it's really important that everybody know that we are not therapists. We are just two women who feel very passionately about the importance of talking about our mental health, about feeling all of our feelings. Um, there are no bad feelings, no matter how uncomfortable they may be. And again, it's the power of our stories, that no matter how big or small your traumatic experience might be, you can find a commonality with someone else. You can meet on a level playing field and really help each other through things.
Yeah, so we're really excited to share some of these stories with you. And we have booked some amazing guests already, and we have recorded some amazing episodes for you already. So, we're going to be looking at a broad range of topics, but we're going to be talking about, what happens after a traumatic birth, what happens after a great loss or an assault, or after you've been cleared of cancer. These are the things, some of the things that we're going to be looking at. And we're going to be talking to some really remarkable people who've been through really tough times and are learning to navigate that and have, experienced some type of personal growth from that experience.
And they're really inspiring stories, and not to diminish how hard it is to get to that point of inspiration to others, but the whole picture, the whole process is just so compelling, and we really feel is really important.
Yeah.
So we hope you are going to be here with us on this journey. We are not professional podcasters, but we feel really passionate about what it is that we're doing. And we would love if you would subscribe wherever you're listening to this, and follow our Instagram, which we tag in the outro, to subscribe so you know when we go live in April. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks for listening to Now What? If you've enjoyed this episode, leave us a review. Your ratings and reviews help more people like you find our podcast.
Don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with someone you think would love it. And make sure to find us on Instagram at nowwhat_podcast. Until next time, we're Tesha and Jen. Remember, your hard times are the chance to write another chapter.